Good morning. I'm at breakfast here. I'm heading to Berkey. I talked to Megan, those trucks that I was waiting for on some beans to come in. Sounds like maybe around 11 they're gonna come, which is fine, but I don't really want to just sit around here all morning waiting for it. So I'm gonna go to Berkey, either run the anhydrous applicator or get tanks around for fill. Dad's gonna be around here so he can get them trucks unloaded for me, and then when they come in, I'll run back up here, run them through the treater, get them where they need to be, and then I'll probably go back to Berkey, honestly. So be a lot of driving today, a long day, but that's okay. So hopefully we can get a lot of anhydrous on down there, and things will go well. So at the moment, can you see him back there? Yep, there comes Dad. He's gonna go spray. He's got just that last field of corn that we finished up replanting yesterday, that little bit, 65 acres or so there that he's got to finish spraying. And then all the corn is sprayed, all of the beans are sprayed, and we're caught up on that front for a while. So that is a good thing. Anyway, see you in Berkey. This is not how we wanted to start out the morning. Got a crack on the hinge point on our anhydrous bar. So we're trying to get it welded up a little bit here. Doing it folded, and we'll unfold it and see if we can't get in there a little bit better, but it's in a bad spot to get to. I'll show you in a minute. Check out our fancy old welder though. This thing's a gem. Well, that should work. Well, we'll see. We're heading back to the field. The beans got a little thick right there. Huh. I think that was where we cleaned out the pit from the grain leg earlier this spring and threw them out there. They all grew. All right, well, we're back in the field putting anhydrous on. So we had to weld that one hinge up. It was cracked. We've had all kinds of issues with this bar since we've owned it. I think we got it in 2009. So it's 10, 11 years old now. But we've welded those hinges up numerous times. This thing unfolds rough. It's try and go slow, and it bangs all over, and it is what it is. So hopefully this fix holds for a while and we can keep moving. I also greased most of the bar up. I greased all the pivot points on the colders out there. There's one to make it pivot this way, one to help it pivot this way, a couple on those closing wheel arms and stuff. So we should be good to roll for a while down here. Phil is going to get a couple more tanks around while I run this one out, and then he's going to take over driving the tractor for me so I can go back up to Walter and take care of those beans, get them treated, get them out, and then we'll be back down here to keep running this afternoon. Can you guys see that hitch pin hooking that wagon to the back of our bar? Look at that. That is why we use safety clips on the bottom of hitch pins. How in the world is that thing being popped up out of there and held like that? That's kind of scary, actually. Alright, Phil's gonna take over for me. We gotta go back and take care of those beans. Well, I made it back up here and the truck was sitting in my driveway, so we're getting him unloaded. Got a few boxes here. I gotta decide whether we're gonna treat these beans or not. I don't really know yet. Okay, so here's the deal. We just brought in all of these boxes, and guy does want them treated, so we're gonna treat them. No problem there. It's just gonna take me a little bit more time. However, one of those boxes is for somebody else that they'll use them untreated, and he usually gets paper bags, can't handle the boxes. I said, well, this is what I got. So we're gonna actually go and set one of those boxes on our seed tender for him. We're done with the seed tender. We don't need it, so just let him use it, and that way we don't have that issue of how do we get them out of the box. So I'm gonna run to the farm real quick, grab that seed tender, bring it down here, get that loaded up for him. He's gonna come pick it up, and that one's done. Then we'll get those other boxes treated. We'll tell that guy they're done, they can come pick them up, and then we'll head back to Berkey. Okay, we're not gonna treat those beans. I just called him back and said, it's late enough in here. I don't really care. They don't have to be if you don't want to do it. And it's not that I don't want to do it. It's I got so much other stuff going on that if he's not If he doesn't care and doesn't want them treated, then I'm not going to take the time to treat them. So they're going to come pick them up now too, so we're going to get rid of these beans here in a hurry. Loading tenders. All right, he's loaded up. Didn't take all of those, but they can come back and get them themselves. And we're heading back to Berkey. And it's new. Second trip down there. Busy today. Whew. It's getting warm out here. Whew. Waiting for Phil to come down to this end of the field. Apparently he is not going to. Back in a familiar spot. I've spent a lot of time in this seat this spring, you know it? We're up to over 3,500 hours on this tractor. I should check it and see what it had when we changed the oil this winter. But anyway, Phil did get that first field on the other side of the woods there done while we were gone and got started onto this one. I believe there's 60 acres in this field, so we'll get across it. And we got a little thin spot here. It's not enough to worry about it, but it's not a great thing to have. So anyway, we'll do this, and then we've got 13 acres across the road, and then we've got another 67 over there across the road. So that'll keep us busy for today, I'm sure. So I'm doing that corn plot that I got here. You can see a little bit of that color variation I was showing yesterday with the different hybrids here. I'm betting as we go through the season that'll be more defined than just the slight color variations and stuff. But this corn looks pretty good. There is that one spot up there by the lane that was a little thin. For the most part, the stands in the plot look just fine, so that's good. I did turn off the variable rate and I set it at a predefined rate, so everything in the plot is getting the same amount of nitrogen to keep it fair. And I'm putting 200 pounds on, which is on the higher side, but it's plot. I want to push it, right? I want it to yield well. So that's what we're doing here. Look at him. Just standing there eating my corn. Not a care in the world. Not like there's a noisy tractor running 100 feet away. Come on. Hunters, do a better job. She's getting a little hot. Coolant temp is clear up to 234. I came up and said that it was warm on me. So that's what happens when it's, according to the tractor, 99 degrees outside. It's not. But it is 90. And we're working it hard. I mean, this is pulling this ripper, or the anhydrous bar ripping through the ground is working the tractor pretty good. So I'm going to slow down just a little bit, watch her cool down hopefully, and hope we should be able to keep going. Well, slowing down cooled her down a little bit. It helped, but we're empty. Time for a tank change. So that ought to give the tractor a chance to cool down. Although it's going to make me hot, because now I got to go out and be in the heat. Okay guys, since we changed tanks, the tractor did cool down. I haven't had any more trouble with it getting super hot. It's running plenty warm, 220, but it's because it's hot out today. So slowing down a little bit has helped keep that from climbing all the way up to 240-ish. But anyway, those of you that also watch Zach, Millennial Farmer, up there in Minnesota, you guys saw him showing off his fancy tractor that he got from John Deere this year, how it turns all by itself, right? Well, guess what, Zach? You're not special. My tractor does the same thing. Now I'm about to show you. So on every 2630 display that Deere sells, they have some demo activations that they put on there, and one of them is for something called iTech Pro. And iTech used to be what John Deere called their end of turn automation stuff. So I can set this button up here so that if I click it one way, it'll do a sequence of functions. Basically, it'll like lift up the anhydrous bar, turn the differential lock off. It may turn a PTO on and off, or there's a number of different things. And then you click it the other way when you're going after you make the turn. Well, that one you still have to turn. iTech Pro, which is part of that display, and an activation that you can buy, but like I said, they give you a demo of it. It turns the tractor all by itself. It automates all of that. So I've been playing with it. We got her set up. It confirms the automated turn, asks me which way I want to turn, which I can change that. And if you don't confirm it, it starts beeping at you. Just so it stops beeping, I'll hit accept. When we get up here to the end, no hands. I promise you, I have no hands. Lifted the bar up. We are turning, lining up with the next pass. Bar down. And you didn't see it because the camera didn't adjust, but it also is engaging and disengaging the diff lock. How awesome is that? What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the actual flow of the anhydrous is controlled by my section control. So when it comes into the end rows, it sees overlap, so it shuts that off. And then as the bar is raised, the master switch outside to tell whether the bar is up or down, implement switch, I guess, keeps it from turning on if there happens to be a gap between the end rows or something like that. So I still might click the master switch just to be safe, but yeah, all by itself does it way cool. John Deere has upgraded that technology. They call it turn automation now, and I don't really know what all the differences are and stuff. I assume it's a little easier to set up on the newer tractors, but this tractor from 2012 does it just fine. All right, I got this field done. There's another 60 acres. So we're gonna jump across the road. We've got, I think it's 13 in that field. It's a pretty small field. I don't know if we're gonna have enough in this tank to do it or not. It's gonna be pretty close, but we got another full one right there. So yeah, let's go. I ended up 1.5 acres short of getting this field done. So good thing we got that tank across the road. I'm gonna drop this one here and we'll go hook up to the next one. All right, we got this little field done. There was 14.8 acres in it. So okay, on to the next one. There's 67 acres, I believe. Kind of that way. So I started it on this next field here, and we've actually got a nitrogen plot that we're doing in here for the crop consultant that we used to do our soil testing. They emailed me back in the late winter looking for somebody to do some different tests with nitrogen stabilizers, which I've not talked a lot about, but there are products that we can add to anhydrous or liquid nitrogen or whatever that kind of stabilize it and help it from leaching in the it slows down the conversion process from ammonium into nitrate, which keeps it from leaching quite so fast. And so they wanted us to do a trial with some of those stabilizers in here. And the rates, hold on. So what we are doing here, can you guys see all the flags they've got out along here for me? They've got 3 different strips that we're doing replicated 4 times each. And so the blue flag, that one right in front of us, those strips indicate normal rate of nitrogen without a stabilizer. So that's what we've got in this tank, is no nitrogen stabilizer on it, just straight anhydrous. And we're putting on our normal rate, which I do variable, but we're putting on 185 pounds of actual N here in the strips with blue flags. And then there's pink and yellow flags as well. In those flags, one of them we're going to use a full rate with the nitrogen stabilizer. So in anhydrous, we're using a product called N-Serve. And the next full tank that I've got way over there, I think, it has N-Serve in it at the full recommended rate. And we will put that on at 185 pounds per acre, same as what we're putting on now in I think the pink strips. And then in the yellow flagged strips, we're going to use the N-Serve, but we're going to back the rate off to about 75% of the normal rate. So in this case, it'll be 140 pounds to the acre. And then the goal with this is to see what does the yield difference make, and if we use a product like N-Serve in our nitrogen, can we lower the total amount of nitrogen that we put on, because it protects it and keeps it from being lost through denitrification, leaching, and all of that stuff. So that's the point of the plot here, and yeah, it's not hard for me to do it. It's just a matter of pushing some buttons on the display to change the rate, so that's why I volunteered to do it for him. Okay, I've got the 4 strips, the regular rate done. You can see them on the map there. I'm going to burn this tank out before I switch and hook up to the one with the N-Serve, so we're just going to go out here past what is part of this plot and keep working across the field, and then we'll come back to it when we change tanks. Okay, just wanted to give a quick little update here. Jack has got me 2 more tanks. One of them is our one with N-Serve in it. The other one's just regular anhydrous. I'm going to have him park it on the other end of the field down here, where closer to where I'm going to need it. That's all we're going to be able to get tonight. And that's okay. We had a really good day considering how, yeah. Anyway, we have another 80-acre field to do down here that's a few miles away that I was hoping maybe we'd be able to get it done tonight, but we're not going to be able to get enough anhydrous. So this is what it is. There's a decent chance of rain tonight and tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe it will hold off until tomorrow afternoon and we can come down here in the morning and get it done. So going across these fields, I am finding just enough spots that aren't terrible, but they're just a little bit thin like this. I think I'm going to call up one of the neighbors here that's a customer of mine and see if he'll rent me his corn planter for an hour tonight and try and patch in some of that stuff. I thought we were done with the replants, but maybe not. It's not terrible. It's not worth going and getting our corn planter and bringing it all the way down here. And if they've already got theirs unhooked and put away, fine, I'll leave it. But if I could get it, what the heck, why not, right? Take an hour and go patch in some corn. So, I don't know, we'll see. We got to finish this anhydrous here first. Also, I'm getting ready to do a live stream here in about 10 minutes, so it's going to be a while before the next update. Holy cow, guys. I just did an almost 2-hour long live stream. Not the plan, but hey, that's all right. That was a good time. I still really enjoy those. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments and questions and tagging along with me. Good time. So we are almost done with this field. I've got this pass and one more to make, and then we'll be done here. And this is the last tank anhydrous I got. There's still a fair amount on it, but I think we're going to call it a night on the anhydrous here. I might go stop and see a neighbor. Maybe. We'll see what's going on here, but we're going to finish this up, and then we'll make some plans on what's going on. It's 8 o'clock already, so getting windy. Blowing the dust right past me. Anyway, we are done. Okay, we're gonna fold up and go up there by the road. Phil's old truck, the black truck, is up there by the road. We've got fuel in there, which I need because putting anhydrous on takes more fuel than planting, and we're about out. Getting real windy now. I looked at the radar, there's no rain on anything close, so we're gonna put this tank of fuel in and call it our night. It's just too bad we couldn't have got more anhydrous and been able to finish that other field tonight, but it's gonna take 2 more tanks, and I just don't think that we couldn't get them tonight. No way around that. So our weld seems to have held for today at least. That's good. I don't see any cracks on that. I did decide it's too late to try and find a corn planter and patch any of this stuff in tonight. It's really not that bad, so it's more for my aesthetics than looking at stuff. Because one of the worst spots is right along the road. Always has to be right along the road. But that's all right. We'll let it go. If it doesn't rain tonight and we're down here in the morning finishing up the side dress, and maybe we'll think about it, but I doubt it. Not that big of a deal, so anyway, I'm going to finish fueling this up, and then we're heading back to Waldron, and it's going to be about it for today. So the fuel gauge in this truck makes you think it's empty when you first start it up. But a few miles down the road, and look, we got a quarter of a tank. We got plenty of fuel to make it back. Weird. Starting to get a few raindrops. Doesn't look like anything too much here yet, but something. Well, I made it home and just looked at the radar. We haven't really gotten any rain here yet, but looks like there's a cell heading right for our stuff in Berkey. So we'll have to go down and check it out in the morning and see if we got enough rain to keep us out of the fields or not. But it is what it is. We need the rain, so I'm not going to complain about it. And the corn, we got time yet to get it side dressed. If it happens to be a few days before we can get to it, that's okay. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for me, please. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with another video. Leave me any questions and comments that you've got down below. You can check out my live stream if you missed it. It's 2 hours long. It'll take you a while. But have a good night, everybody.